Oh, we're now live. Hello, everybody. This is the inaugural stream of the new channel, which before I do anything, I must say thank you for subbing to about 600 and something, and it keeps going strong. To be honest, I thought the best case scenario was 500, and I'm like, oh, you guys, we only got stopped by by Adult Swim.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, but the videos are back up, but we're still disputing. I don't know how that works, but it seems that they will allow people to watch it after I said, no, this is a review. I think they will
don't listen to that shit. Oh, the BBC absolutely shut me the fuck down on that Doctor Who video. That was a hard no.
I know they for a public run company, they really love their copyright, don't they?
Well, here's what they did. Is and I didn't realize that they could do this, but apparently they can. What they did is they gave up on the copyright claim for a section of video that they claimed. They gave up on it after it, and they waited till like the maximum amount of time. Then they just cited a new piece of the video and said, now we're copyrighting this. And it's like, oh, I see what's going to happen. You're just going to keep fucking doing this. And it's a 50-minute long video with a lot of clips. So you're just going to keep doing it, you fucking cunts. So I was like, you know what? So now nobody's making money off of it. So I'm like, fine, fuck you too. That's how I'd prefer it then. If I'm not making anything off of it, I don't want you to make a shekel off of it either.
The thing is, I can't even monetize it at the moment. You got to get to 10,000 views on new channels, and then they decide if you're real or not. I don't know. But anyway, like, I'm not making money off of it. Pretty sure it's not monetized. So why did they bother copywriting something when it's not monetized? They did 4 things. There's 4 moments that they all just like decided to copyright.
It's probably a bot.
Yeah.
It's a bot. Because I get that shit a lot where it's just like, yeah, as soon as it goes up, there's some bot that just flags it and goes like, oh, it's our intellectual property. And then, you go and flag it. But the BBC was really, really anal retentive, as I've heard they are wont to be about their intellectual property.
I'm actually going to do a second one, and I don't care if they copyright that one again, because I've only got halfway through this season, because number 6 is out, and then number 7's out this week, I think. So I'm going to continue watching it to see if it improves. I heard it is better, number 6. So my hope that it picks up from here is probably going to happen. I don't know. Thing is, even though it has gotten shit, and PC political correctness has a lot to do with Rick and Morty going to shit.
Yeah.
With these stupid hires that they've got. Because Harmon did this with Community, by the way, in the same season. First and second season, brilliant. He didn't diversity hire. I don't know whether or not the first 2 seasons were mixed or not. I don't bloody know. So anyway, he did that. Then the 3rd season makes it 50-50, goes to shit.
Well, I still thought, let me see. It's been a while since I've watched Community. Actually, that's the show I need to rewatch.
And if you look at, I've not actually looked at the IMDb's of those writers, and I should have done so. I feel so stupid now.
I feel like some of my favorite episodes are in the later seasons.
Well, there's always going to be a few outliers, but I've noticed there was a drop in quality, and they did purposefully put all the girls from 2 to 4 for a reason to highlight them, and it's like, nope, not good. But the thing is, I did laugh at some things. It's not like they didn't make me laugh. It's just I laughed more at visual gags, sight gags, and stuff. This of it was just flat.
Like the Legend of Neil, wasn't that it? No, that wasn't it. That's a totally different thing. The one where they go on the fucking D&D thing. That's like my favorite episode, and I think that was in one of the later seasons.
Is that Community?
Yeah, they play Dungeons and Dragons, and it's fucking amazing. And then there's the Pillow Fort, where it's like it's a parody of a historical documentary. Let's see, which one is it? I'll find it real quick.
So are you a D&D nerd? Do you do D&D, bro?
Not in a long time, but I used to.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, okay. Pillows and Blankets is the faux-Civil War documentary where Troy and Abed build a giant pillow fort and then end up in a war. So that's season 3. That's one of the best episodes. Let's see.
Is Community where it goes, ha, gay?
No. Have you
Community?
seen it?
No, I wouldn't know.
And see, you can't talk
I might
shit.
watch it.
Yeah, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons is season 5, so it's the last season.
Wow.
And then what's the other? There's another really good one. I'm trying to think.
Sherlock's going through the same thing as well. Maybe third season is a make or break. I don't know. Oh, somebody asked D&D or Shadowrun. Both. Why not both?
Well, I'd say one of both, but I do have a preference for AD&D over Shadowrun. Personally.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
I wish there was a D. Go on.
Oh no, I like Shadowrun because I also you can do like cool cyberpunk shit with it that is outside the norm. But there's other games that you can use to do more cyberpunky stuff.
I know there's also D&D games, but there's not a D&D game for video games. It's like it's not like choose your own adventure. I think it's probably impossible at the moment, but maybe one day.
I mean, there's Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, but that has a story. Like there's a wait.
Well, D&D has a story.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, you could kind of build your own story, even though you've got.
The Neverwinter Nights.
Oh, I guess so. All right, I've never played that. I've heard of it. Obviously,
I mean, you can do whatever with Neverwinter essentially.
Isn't it like more of a puzzle game? And I hate puzzle games.
Nah, it's BioWare.
Oh, is it BioWare? Oh,
before they got bad.
Yeah, I know. Actually, KOTOR's one of my favorites. I never thought I'd say that.
I love KOTOR. It's I cosplay Bastila. I fucking love KOTOR.
I had a cosplay as the droid, Meatbags.
Oh, which one? The evil one? God, I can't think of his name. Yeah. From
Can I kill him, please?
Yeah, that was fucking. I just replayed those games last year too. I can't believe I couldn't think of his name.
My favorite thing he says is interjection. I don't know why. He just interjects a lot and he goes, interjection.
Yeah. Let's see, shit. I'm trying to think of the other episode because it's the one that people always post GIFs of where
Oh, you're a GIF. Oh, you're a GIF person.
I had to train myself into saying GIF because I used to say GIF all the time, and then I had to because you can never please all the people all the time with that. Like if you say GIF, someone's gonna be like, actually, it's pronounced GIF, and then if you say GIF, he'll be like, oh, you're a GIF person. This is like, well, I'm fucked, aren't I? There's nothing I can do here.
But the thing is, it's graphics something, so it's not really.
Yeah,
GIF.
it should. I know. I think the guy was being pedantic, honestly, by saying like, "Oh, I'm allowed to. I created the format, so I can say it's pronounced however I want." It's like, yeah, but that's not how it's spelled or how it looks. But whatever. It's only one of those pronunciations.
You trained yourself. So like, when's the face reveal? When's the face reveal? I mean, I've had a sneak peek, people. Just so you know.
Yeah, you have.
I mean, I had a sneak peek with Bearing and Sugar Tits too, but I didn't get Sugar Tits' permission. Bearing just showed it.
Yeah, there's a couple other people who have seen obviously Hard Bastard Hats, but he's the crux there. Once he gets enough money for his studio, he's gonna start doing like live and studio shit.
I can help him with cameras, maybe. It depends.
Well, he's actually got his a friend of his, Winston Smith, who just moved to the area and is going to be
Winston Smith. That's quite a name.
Well, it's from 1984. It's obviously a pseudonym, but yeah. Once Winston's there, they're going to have a lot more of the technical aspects taken care of, and then maybe in about 2 months, I'm going to also be there. So we'll see like how that progresses. You
gonna do the pose, the thing with your avatar does?
No, I'm not gonna sit perfectly frozen in space. And also, there's no way I could sit still and not drink a martini. That would be gone very quickly.
Girly bear. You girly.
Oh yeah, my Palisade pineapple.
I'm drinking a Peroni. I wish I did pepperoni pizza, but I got the Peroni.
That's racist.
I know. Is it racist? Oh, yeah, I'm mixed race, so it would be, yeah. I don't have any Italian in me, although I did used to go to Italian barbers. There's actually an Italian community in Manchester, but they're not really Italian anymore because they've been here for hundreds of years. Although once I was on a tram, which is the subway, but we don't actually have a subway. They had plans, but it never happened. And there was this guy with a really heavy Manc accent, more than me, and older. And the next thing I know, he's speaking Italian. In and out. And every time he speaks English, it's Manc. and then when then he goes into Italian and it's Italian, but I think an Italian person would know he's not really Italian.
Right.
And I think he's talking to a family member, maybe his sister, so she would have been doing the same thing.
That's always interesting to listen to, particularly when you get like half the side of a conversation. Speaking of, though, that reminded me of a cool thing.
You could tell what they were talking about. It was just drama.
Right. Well, I mean, that's life. We're always talking about drama. In Cincinnati, I lived in Cincinnati for 5 years, and they had these massive plans to build this huge subway system in Cincinnati. They built like 10% of it and then ran out of money. But the thing is, it's still there, like underground. And it's you can sneak down into it, and we did. It's really creepy and weird. So if you're ever in Cincinnati and want to see something really fucking creepy, like you probably find some pictures of it.
There is some underground passageways here. There's like old Victorian sewers that we don't use anymore, and
oh yeah, old cities. Well, then like I mean, like Paris is just going to eventually fall into all of its catacombs one day.
It's a shame that there's no like former. Well, the factories are all renovated into houses and other stuff now, but the shame there's no abandoned ones that you can have a look and see all the old machinery if there's any. But actually, there is. There's a soap factory somewhere near the river, and it's abandoned. And those, or is it? Because I've seen lights on inside.
Sneak into it and find out.
That's what
I was going to do. I did that once. There was there's another thing in Baltimore. When I lived there, there was a abandoned coat factory. So this is back when I would have my brief period of time where I would have considered myself a narco-communist. Oh, I know. It's so how terrible. The absolute opposite of everything that I believe in. So when I was like 16, though, I had all of these like really nice ideas of like, why don't we all live in colonies together? We'll all share the
what colour was your hair at that time?
It was actually pink and green.
Of course it was.
But we used to sneak into the abandoned coat factory, which is really creepy, and there's really cool pictures of it online. You can find before they tore it down. So if you type in like, I'll find it. Yeah, Baltimore abandoned coat factory. We used to just sneak in there, and we would steal coats because there were thousands of coats. It shut down in the late 70s, I think. And it was still full of thousands and thousands of coats. And we'd toss them off the roof into this truck or our friends who were waiting down below. And we'd put them in a van or a truck and we'd drive them over to the homeless shelter and we'd just hand them out to people.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, like, those are like, oh, I'm fighting the system, but I'm helping the homeless because
why not? Nobody's...
no, the cops showed up one time, though, and tried to bust us. It was fucking terrifying.
So you're doing The Wire? Is that what you were doing? That's set in Baltimore.
No, I've never seen. It is set in Baltimore, and I've never seen that show. Everyone's like, "How have you?"
There's a few cop shows set in Manchester, but there's a really famous one called Life on Mars, which is set in the 70s. Really good with the Master, John Sims.
Oh, cool, nice. I love
really good. And then there's a sequel set in London, which isn't as good, but I still liked it. It's called Ashes to Ashes. Yes, the theme is David Bowie songs.
Nice.
It's saying that. I mean, to be fair, they do kind of tie in to the period somewhat on the story, but they only really get played in the finales, the songs, and then the rest it's more about there was an American remake, and from what I know their story is more of a sci-fi thing. In Life on Mars you don't know what it is, but in Ashes to Ashes they reveal it, and I'm not going to reveal it, but I would have preferred never to find out, in my opinion.
You know, I'm watching this show, Fortitude. I talked. It's a Sky. What's it? It's a British television network, I think, or UK.
What, Sky Arts? Sky Arts?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But it's all filmed in Iceland, in Western Iceland or Eastern Iceland, and it's really fucking visually interesting. It's set in a fictional version of Svalbard, Norway. But which is like I think one of the northernmost inhabited places on the planet, because there's about like 1,000 people live there in real life. But they did that same kind of thing where I kind of didn't want to know actually what was going on, and then they revealed it, and then there's a second season, so it's a whole new mystery, and I'm getting through the second season, but I sort of like blew my load after the first one. I was like, that was so fucking good. I don't know where you're going to go from here.
So like, Sky Arts is a really good channel considering it's Sky. Sky Atlantic is where we get all your like HBO stuff from as well. But because I don't have Sky, I can't get it because it looks really good. Like Boardwalk Empire is on it, which I need to watch. Does everything I need to watch on Sky Atlantic. And also they've got a show on Sky Arts called The Borgias, which is set in the Renaissance, and that's about some Italian mafia families, the Borgias. Which were real. They were real. Also, somebody asks you, Mika asks, when's your Nerdcore album dropping? Because you did a song, didn't you?
I did a cringy little song at the end, but that was not Nerdcore. That was a cover of Joni Mitchell's where I put cringy little. I changed the lyrics to apply to YouTube and shit. It's like, this is the cringiest thing you could ever do.
Joni Mitchell. I remember once she had a weird freak out about Bob Dylan a few years back in the media, like, he's forgotten his Jewish roots, and it's like, no.
That's funny. But no, I think she's been dead for 20 years. What? Hasn't she?
No, she's still alive.
Am I losing my mind?
Yes, you are. She's still
I am. I thought she was dead for some reason. Oh well, fuck me.
Her birthday is only 13 days before mine. Hell, well, wow, she's actually 70 years. 33. Wait, no, 50 years older than me. That's quite impressive. Wow, 43, 93. Woo.
There you go. Yeah, she actually. There's been several good songs written about West Virginia, and she did one of the best ones.
She's Canadian.
Yeah, but she lived here for about a year while she failed out of undergrad.
I never failed uni. I graduated with some good honors.
Yeah, I mean, and her song, it's like, I think you were smoking a lot of dope and you were hanging out on high streets, literally and figuratively. And literally and figuratively, you were hanging out on high street and smoking dope and not going to class. So you wrote a really nice song called Morning Morgantown. And I do like Joni Mitchell, but Nerdcore album never dropping. As I said in the video, it's the cringiest shit ever. And if you want to ask, Hard Bastard has heard one of my songs. So, and he is a very good rapper. And then when I realized how good he was, I was like, oh no, I wish I could have undone sending that.
I feel like he should be where Macklemore is if he is that good.
He's really good. It was surprisingly good. Like you would not think. I don't know. Just like knowing like what he does on YouTube and shit like that. That he's like a really good rapper.
I'd love to hear his rapping voice. Is he going to sound like the guy from Cypress Hill or something? It's from the bong.
No, he's got a really good voice for it. It works very well. He may actually do something with it with his channel at some point. Like, I don't know. That's what he was saying before, but I'm not inside his fucking head.
So I found out that we now have something in. Well, we do have some things in common, but we have a particular me thing in common, and that is a Red Letter Media.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about them again.
I knew you were a Mike fan. I could tell. I just knew
I only ever post gifs of him.
I mean, true, but like I thought, well, that just could be he's the most memeable. But then again, he is the best one.
Rich Evans is the most memeable. But
Mike has the best faces.
Yes, I love Mike. I used to actually have like a little bit more of a crush on him. I used to post on there. I used to be a very frequent poster on the forums. This is what happens when you go from like just consumer to creator. Then it's like, well, this is a weird place to be.
Did you know they did when they did that Jurassic Park review? They called Joss Whedon, sensitive Joss Whedon, and they said we need an acronym, SJW.
Yeah, that was great. Holy shit! Yeah, they don't give any fucks. I mean, the video I'm working on right now is I'm going to talk about Death Note. I'm going to talk about Ghost in the Shell, and this whole idea of whitewashing and why it's bullshit. Because last year, Max Landis, that was the funniest thing I have ever seen on their channel, where they watched was it Double Down? Yeah,
Double Down. Explain Double Down, Rich Evans. What?
Do we see his ball sack? Do we see his ball sack? How many medals does he have, Rich? But Max Landis actually put out a video about a year ago where he explained, and he got a little SJWE. I mean, the guy's got rainbow hair and wears rainbow shit everywhere. You know who he is.
But he has a bit of a shitlordy streak in his humor, so I'm not
a little bit. Yeah, I don't mind Max Landis, but he explained in detail why Scarlett Johansson got hired for that role, and then why it made sense and how the movie would never have been made if it hadn't been for Scarlett Johansson. And of course, his audience hated the video. And they were like, how dare you? She needs to be an Asian woman. And then I'll come in here and be like, actually, in the context of the universe of Ghost in a Shell, Major Kusanagi is just a brain in a cyborg body. So there's absolutely no reason why she needs to be Japanese, because it's a robot body. It doesn't have a race. Boom.
And the other thing is that it's a Western adaptation. So
the movie is shitty is the problem. The movie's a shitty cash grab. It has nothing to do with her being white, just like the Death Note movie. It was a shitty movie with bad acting and a bad script.
I've got a confession to make. I didn't I didn't really like the original. I don't even particularly like this film. Like, it's just too overly philosophical. They just go on and on and on. It's like, shut up. In fact, advance the story. You can show it me with montage and any other film and technique. I don't need dialogue.
Yeah, see, I like the philosophy stuff. That's why I like Ghost in the Shell too, because Ghost in the Shell is a transhumanist story, and I love transhumanism as a concept.
I like it too, but
really,
it's like.
But Death Note, it's. I said this the other day too, and I'm going to talk about it in the video. Is that Death Note is essentially the proto Breaking Bad, or it was popular before Breaking Bad was created, because it's the same. What you're supposed to do is, although Light is a sociopath from the beginning, and that's made pretty obvious. Although if you look really closely, you can see things about Walter White's character that are also sociopathic from the very beginning. The whole interest of what makes this series interesting is you get a hook onto the audience. Like, we like this character, we want him to succeed. Light is trying to bring justice to an unjust world. Walter White's trying to save his family. And then we got to go down the rabbit hole with them until they become consumed by their own egos and become the villain. And what Vince Gilligan and I don't remember the name of I used to know the creator of Death Note, what they are asking the audience to do is, how far will you go before you denounce this character? And it becomes that parasocial question, parasocial relationships of, I like the character, I feel like I'm their friend, so what takes priority? My own interpretation of myself as a moral person, or how far I'm willing to go to defend my friend? And that's what makes it interesting.
I like that. Moral questions, moral quandaries. I like that. I've never seen it, and I remember in college, which is not university, it's a high school senior technically. There was this girl who was a bit of a weeb in hindsight. I didn't know what a weeb was at the time. She was always getting me to watch all these things. I never did. And now I think I should probably watch it years later.
I mean, it's okay. The manga and the anime are different. They have a vastly different ending. It depends on what you like. If you're a fan of the Light character and you wanted him to succeed, he has a much better ending in the anime than in the manga, where he suffers extremely. I've
been playing The Witcher. I've played all three of them, although I'm still trying to do 3 at the moment because it's big. And and at the moment, I was thinking, would they ever do like a Western adaptation? Because there's already a Polish TV show, but it's not based on...
it's already scheduled. It's happening.
Is it?
On Netflix. Yep.
Who's in it?
Don't know if they've casted it yet. I don't think so.
The Witcher, Netflix, cast.
I think it's Netflix, or somebody's doing it.
Oh, shit. We've got Nicolas Costa-Waldau. Or Valdo, whatever. He's got to be Geralt. I can see it. I can see it, actually. I can see Jamie as Costa-Waldau. Eva Green, of course. Yes, they've got me.
No, they'd already cast it. Interesting. Now there is actually
Vinny Bloody Jones. Really?
What? Fuck yes! Holy shit! Who are they gonna cast? Vinny? Is he gonna be
Snatch? Apparently. Oh no, wait, no, that's his film.
Yeah.
Letho. He's Letho.
Excellent. That's a great yes. I approve thoroughly.
All right,
this casting.
Oh yeah. I
approve of Vinny Jones.
I'll tackle you. I'll grab your balls.
I love Vinny Jones. Have you seen Survive Style 5? It's my favorite Japanese. Survive Style 5. It's a Japanese film that he's in. It's like my favorite. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's absolutely insane. He plays this assassin in it, and he's got a Japanese translator with him the entire time. And all he does is he walks up to everybody and he says, "What's your function in life?" And then it confuses everybody. And depending on how you answer, depends on whether or not he's going to kill you, essentially, or it determines whether or not he murders the person. It's so fucking good.
Get this: Brendan Gleeson is Zoltan.
Oh, nice.
We've got Gemma Arterton. Should that be Atherton? No, Arterton. Prince of Persia. Oh well. Is Triss. I can't see her as Triss. She's not. ginger enough. She's not. Well,
Are you
she's
sure
not
this is
ginger
official?
enough.
I don't see any of this shit.
Is Yennefer. Oh yes. Oh,
This
that's
is speculation.
perfect.
This isn't real, man. I don't
This
see
is
any
real.
of these castings.
This is IMDb. Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
link it to you.
Link it to me because I'm on IMDb and I don't fucking see that shit. Am I losing my mind? Now there was a Witcher movie that was made in 1998
In Poland,
In Poland?
I do believe.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
Is it?
The television version of it, where it's like it's extended. It's a cover. It covers all of the short stories that take place before the saga. So if Leto's going to be in it, though, that means that
Are
it's
they going
not
to go
going to be
through
the
the whole
saga.
thing? Are they going to go from Witcher 1, Witcher 2? Are they starting from Witcher 2?
No,
That's
they need to
interesting.
actually adapt the saga because that would mean it still isn't going to be adapted. Look,
So,
like, okay.
someone felt that Gerard Butler would be Geralt. No, not Gerard Butler. Nicolaj.
Nicolaj
like
he's a good choice.
So, like, what were you going to say before?
My point is, like, so there's 7 books. Well, actually, let me see. I got them right here. Yeah, there's 5 that are there are 5 books in the saga. So that's like, so the vast majority of all the books that exist are about Ciri. It's the Blood of Elves saga. And that's still not been adapted. It's not in the games. The games take place afterwards, and the previous Polish film takes place before it. It's the two a collection of the 2 fucking collections of short stories. That's really fucking stupid. I would like the Ciri saga because it's fascinating and super interesting, and it's all of the best things that end up coming out of the Witcher games. So like yeah, shit. If you're still playing The Witcher 3, I don't want to give too much away.
I've just played through the second one for like the second time, and I don't remember it being so hard, but I got through. Also, it's kind of short.
Difficult. Yeah, The Witcher 2 is
But because
Really
I
true.
remembered how to beat the dragon, because remember the first time, to my eternal shame, I had to turn the difficulty down the one time to kill the dragon. But I didn't this time, and I successfully beat him quite easily.
It's a her, actually.
Is it a she?
Yeah.
Really?
It's Saskia.
Wait, Saskia is the dragon?
Yeah.
I thought Saskia was a human.
Oh shit! Sorry, man. You sided with my boy Roach. You didn't side with
my boy Roach, man. My boy.
not with Yorvith.
Fuck the elves.
Fuck you. But shit, I'm trying to think.
I mean, I'm not saying they should be extinct, but they should try and get along with the program.
You don't understand. The elves have been systematically. They live in fucking ghettos and shit.
Yeah, I know. It's their own fault.
Well, they are trying to leave. To be fair,
I know the Wild Hunter elves from another realm. I know that.
It's
which is interesting.
Yes,
they're bigger.
Read the fucking books because then you get all that backstory.
As long as the translation's good.
The translations are quite good. I've read both the fan translations and the official translations of all of the books. And I, for a while, was trying fairly diligently to learn Polish so I could read them in Polish. That was my main fucking reason. That is how much I like this series. It's pretty intense love of that fucking series of books. They're really good. But there's 2 types of elves. It's the Unshay and the NL elves. So the Wild Hunt are coming from another dimension.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
for a number of reasons. And you have to, if you want to, because like all good modern fantasy, there's lots of implied and actual rape that happens. And why do you think that one guy was looking for Ciri so hard? He wants to fuck the shit up. Now he finds her disgusting. Finds her disgusting, but he also wants to fuck the shit out of her.
Wow, that's a strange feeling.
Well, she was because it happened with their king too. He was trying. The whole idea is that because she has the blood of Laura Doran, who fucked a human and created the first hybrid. Essentially, Ciri's the descendant of that, and that there's something about her blood being directly related to Laura Doran that allows her to still control the portals between universes that the NL elves aren't able to really do correctly anymore, and they have to do that because their universe is reaching peak entropy and it's going to be destroyed. So they're trying to basically have Siri have a bunch of kids with them so that they can control their powers to move to another universe. Specifically, probably to the... It went by match entropy, is what they talk about with the white frost. That's what that is. It's just like this massive multi-universal force that consumes everything.
And I assume if they do get into our world, well, their world,
into the world,
they'll just rape and pillage everything.
They did it before, where they have human slaves that have been, they like interbred them until they were like really, really short, like little golem things, like little, or gremlins, I mean, in their part of their universal pocket or whatever. But their king, the king of the NL elves, kept trying to fuck Siri and couldn't get himself to do it because he found humans so repulsive. Then he died. Well, he got killed by the leader of the Wild Hunt.
Yeah, I just don't like the elves in anything. They're just always so perfect, and I think the Witcher puts them at their lowest. I'm like, though I don't like what they did to the dwarves. I like dwarves, so.
Yeah, I always play an elf. I always role play an elf. Always.
See, I'm always a human, and I'm always a tank.
Normie, what a normie.
What a human supremacist.
Yeah, I'm really offended.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I kind of like universes where the elves are like dirty and live in slums and stuff because they've been subjugated by the humans. And then I like to roleplay, and because I like to get offended. I can break out my ability to channel SJW-isms. That's why I used to play. There's a Dragon Age RPG, tabletop RPG we used to play.
Is that why your hair's coloured so you can like channel it?
It's so no one will ever suspect me.
As an antenna. So like you like to cosplay as elves. I don't actually cosplay. I never even cosplayed as my character in D&D, who was a really dumb tank.
That's always fun though. Always like dumb tanks too. But no, I cosplay. I do all kinds of stuff. Actually, now when I do, because here's the thing. Do you have Renaissance festivals over there? You have to.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I love Ren fairs. I've been going to them since I was like 11 years old. I'm gonna convince Hard Bastard to go to a Renaissance festival with me.
We have battle reenactments because we have such a long history. So you've got Roman, medieval, English Civil War, all sorts. Right. I mean, to be fair, it kind of runs out after like 1680 something. So that was the last pitched battle in like the British Isles or something. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, maybe not because Ireland, but like in England and Scotland, like yeah, the last one was 1680 something. So. And that was a rebellion because one of the one of the Stuarts was a bastard. I think he was Charles II's son, and he tried to get the throne, and he got beat. It didn't last long. And then of course, I think just before or after that, it was the Battle of the Boyne, which was in Ireland, and that changed everything for the worse for Ireland. That's probably what set in stone the whole division, but.
Yeah. I don't know very much about that period of history.
I love that era just because they look so cool with the beards and the clothes are better than the 1700s. 1700s, they just look gay. With the powdered wigs. No, give me Renaissance fashion any day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't. I do like people who actually get really into the accuracy of costume stuff. I absolutely do not. I'm very over the top, and I always have been. And now I do this whole like gay fawn thing, so it's extra. It's just fancy stuff. Sorry,
the Culloden was the last battle in Scotland. I forgot. Yeah, 1745. Okay. But yeah, that was when the Stuarts finally got beat because they again tried to take over from the Georgians and they failed. They actually had support in England because remember they were the kings of both England and Scotland. It wasn't an England versus Scotland thing. It was who's going to rule the two countries. Basically, and well, the rest is history. Here we are.
Right.
It was also a religious thing that the Stuarts were caught in the Catholics, Georgians, Protestants, right. But the English Catholics in the end didn't rise up, probably because they knew they would have been slaughtered or their rights taken away.
Well, they were the vast minority at that point, weren't they?
Not vast. They're not actually a vast minority. It's just. They couldn't vote. They couldn't do this. Couldn't do that. Right. and eventually that was overturned, and then after that, it was the Jews. I think they got emancipated about 100 years after. Can't remember. Interesting times. So back to Red Letter Media, because I just want to talk about them again. What's your favorite episode of them, like hands down? In any of the Plinkett best of the worst. Like, give me, if you can't think of the one overall, give me the best one from all of them. My favorite review is the new Ghostbusters one, because he's just savage.
He is savage. I love that. But you know what? I think like there was a little thing that I could tell, and maybe it was just me, is that like Mike has stopped being Mr. Plinkett all the time. So when he had to go be Mr. Plinkett again, I thought it was still a great review, but there's something about the nostalgia of like, I don't know, when did this come out? 9 years ago, and being like, holy shit, it's a fucking hour and a half long just destruction of these shitty Star Wars movies. Horse Ninja was really good.
Horse Ninja, yeah.
Shit. I don't know. That's such a difficult one. I would say this. I was really disappointed with Space Cop. I own it on Blu-ray. I've watched it several times, and I've listened to the commentary, and the best thing about it is the commentary, where they're just like talking to each other. It's like, this is so much better than your fucking movie. I'm so sorry.
Wasn't it intentionally bad, or was it just intentionally?
It was intentionally bad, but it wasn't funny. Was the thing that, like, if it's intentionally bad, it has to also be funny. I mean, it wasn't, not all of it is, like, some of it is pretty neat. Like, they got their friends from Canada to do some of the special effects. Those look nice. The problem is Rich Evans is not a very good actor.
No, he isn't.
And his whole thing is that I know he's supposed to be the 80s badass, but he's also completely incompetent. And I get the joke. It just, now, whenever Mike is on screen, it's great. I believe almost, do you know Ralph Seppi?
Sounds familiar.
Ralph Movie Maker.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Check him out if you don't. He did a review of it that I was like, yeah, I agree completely. I agree, because he's also a big fan of theirs, and for both. I like when he did the review, I felt like it was the same thing. It was being like, oh, we have to admit it wasn't very good. Like, because when you love people, you know, you want the product of. It took 10 years.
Makes me think if Mike was Space Cop, it'd be better, and Rich was the sidekick. Maybe that would be better.
Well, they're not it's not like Mike is the sidekick. They're just, it's like a buddy cop thing where they just play off of each other. And when I was listening to the commentary tracks, a lot of their conversation was just improvised, because it's like, that's what you guys do well. It's like when you and Rich just play off of each other, that's really funny and good. But what ends up happening is Mike becomes like a little bit too over the top in terms of play this character. It's like, gee, Space Cop.
Oh my god!
It's just really funny. Like, I mean, it's funny, but it's also really cringy. I think. And the sad thing is, you can tell they put so much effort and work into it. Really, because Rich makes all the sets pretty much.
Really, Rich does it?
Yes. Yeah, he makes like pretty much all the sets. He makes pretty much everything. Like, when they joke about, like, Rich made Wheel of the Worst, now he made those things. He made, like, in the movie, like, he made all the spaceship models and stuff like that.
Wow. He's actually quite multi-talented. I like that.
Yeah. Well, the whole story is, I think, that he's the only one of them who didn't go to film school. He was just friends with Mike. And Jay and Mike met in film school when they lived in Arizona, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Why do I know this fucking much about these people? That's such a sad thing.
I know a little bit about that, so, but it's like I've never seen Space Cop. I'm always worried about seeing their films because they've got some of their shorts on YouTube and they're not that good. I mean, they're intentionally bad, but
right. Which is like, sometimes how can you criticize something when it's intentionally bad? I think they've said this, so this is what my criticism would be: is that the worst thing you can be is boring, and Space Cop is boring.
Well, I don't think their intention was to be bad. I mean, boring.
No, their intention was not to be boring. Not at all. I understand. Like, you listen to their commentary track again, they talk about, you know what, this is astounding. I would never have thought about this. Their biggest problem and setback was finding actors. They could not find anyone. In Milwaukee, I guess not. They couldn't find anybody to work on it.
It's just crazy. How can you not find someone in Milwaukee, in like a big, well, I don't know if Milwaukee's big, but
It's a pretty big sized city, but it's not LA. It's not New York. There's no anyone who's an actor, moves to LA or New York.
It's like over here it'll be different now because the BBC's up north in my city, so there'd be plenty of actors to find in the university. Why did they just go to the universities where they're all being trained?
They put out open casting calls. I think part of the problem, at least what Jay said, is that a lot of times you need a specific actor to play a really specific role. Someone who looks a certain way, someone who has a certain demeanor, something like that. You can't just cast anybody because it's not live theater. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if it's live theater, you can have a man play a woman or a character or whatever. If they can do a really good job and they're a really good actor, that doesn't transfer to film. So I think some of the theater actors, they don't do the character work the way that they wanted. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's someone's packed out your door. It must be the Illuminati coming to get you. Yeah, I know. It's the fucking trucks. I can't record all day long. I can't record until about usually 10 p.m.
Did you watch that Doctor Who video that I sent you? That guy showing how much of a hack fraud the new showrunner is. I started watching it. I didn't because I actually was like before we got on. I was finishing watching your Rick and Morty review because here's the thing: I've never seen Rick and Morty. I'll be real honest. I've seen a lot of Community, and then Dan Harmon pissed me off so bad in Harmontown before Rick and Morty even existed that I was like, I'm gonna ollie out you. Although I've heard it's great, and I know I need to watch it. I've watched people do Let's Plays of the VR thing. It's like that looks really funny. I think I would probably enjoy this. It's Roylands. Roylands carries this new season. He shouldn't have to carry it. He should add to it. And it seems like he's more interested in voice acting than writing. And it's like, the reason why this exists. It comes from a short that he wrote and directed himself called The Adventures of Rick and Marty, which is Back to the Future. Oh, was it Doc and Marty? Doc and Marty. It's like, in order to change the future, you must lick my balls, Marty. And then that's where it comes from. So obviously he could write the whole season and be great, but apparently he doesn't want to. And it doesn't seem to be as improvised.
So I'm totally legally downloading it right now. To watch it legally.
Oh, Morty. I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers now think they can do Rick and Morty. Like Riz of Course tries to do Rick.
Well, Chris Reagan does it. He does it though pretty well.
He does Morty. Oh, cheese, Rick. Oh. I can do Morty. I can kind of do Rick. I can't do his burping. How does he burp while talking? I can't do that.
Drink a lot of soda, I guess.
Yeah, but when I try to say something, I just go bleh.
My cousin used to be really good at that when we were kids. She would like burp everything.
Roylands actually gets pissed when he makes it, It's legit like drunk and does it. Even though the director and the writers are like, don't do it. He's like, nah, fuck it.
That's a man after my own heart.
It's
like, get drunk while you're doing something. Yes, excellent.
If you actually watch what he does in other TV shows, the Morty voice is his go-to voice, it seems, while Rick is his most original.
Yeah.
That's just the thing that I've noticed. Like, Lemon Grab sounds like Morty. Something from Gravity Falls, is it? Sounds like Morty.
Yeah, Gravity Falls I've never watched either. Code made me afraid of it.
Apparently it's just a Rick and Morty for kids, which should be pretty good. I don't know. But like, he makes it, he's carrying it. He's somehow carrying it because Matt Smith and bloody Peter Capaldi couldn't carry Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Oh, and I watched somebody make a video about why he can't be a woman or shouldn't be a woman. Although he said in the beginning, like, I want to be proven wrong. And then the things he said, it was 3 years ago. And it's so true. Like, there's nothing more sexist than saying, well, he has to be a woman because clearly that's an improvement over him being a man. And like, that's sexist. I'm like,
well, they don't understand it that way.
No.
Because all these people are looking at equality of outcome, not equality of opportunity. Because equality of opportunity illustrates very thoroughly that, whoa, people are kind of different and have different interests.
That wasn't his point. It was more, he's pointing out the sexism that you're saying that he can only be better if he was a woman. That's sexist. And then there's another point he mentioned, which is the most important. The Doctor is a paternal character. He's either the fifth one, which is a big brother. You've got William Hartnell, your granddad.
Yep.
You've got who? I'm trying to think who's more of an uncle type. I guess Sylvester McCoy would have been a bit of a funny uncle, at least in the first season. You got Tom Baker's the uncle. Clearly, he's your silly, funny uncle. You've got David Tennant is the best, not paternal, platonic friend or something. Capaldi was meant to be the grumpy. She used to do it, and then there's a few things that they subvert. So, like, the Doctor's first instinct is to run away and then fight, while the typical action hero is to. Oh, is it everything all right? Did you hear what I said?
Hang on. Let me.
I saw on the thing. Then it just went a bit weird, and it got quiet.
Yeah, I got cut off for a second. I think it's all fine now, though. I don't know what that was about.
Did you hear me? As long as everybody else heard me, it's all right.
I think we're caught up now, but yeah, I cut up, or I just couldn't hear anything for a couple minutes.
So what happened is basically he's paternal, and now he's paternal. He's gone through the gambit of paternal roles. So from the brother to your dad to your granddad and your uncle, and he looks after people, you know, in that manly way that men do. And then now we've got, and then the subversion of his role is that unlike the typical male hero who will fight people without thinking, he runs away and then he fights, doesn't he? His first instinct is to run. So they're subverting something. But if she did it, if he's a woman, well, isn't that what they're meant to do? In a way? I'm not trying to be sexist, but that sounds like nobody would think, yeah, she's up against this massive alien beast. That, yeah, I won't blame her if she ran. Do you understand? Hello? Uh-oh, we seem to have lost her. Aydin? Oh, we've got two Aydins.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if you heard me.
Well, I got kicked, so I don't know what the fuck, but yeah. Well, yeah, it kicked me off of Google, but clearly I'm still, there's two of me now.
It's Susan. Susan's after it. But anyway, so I've got oh, Jeff. Yes, new channel. Hi, Jeff. Jeff Holiday's in the chat. I'm going to give him a wrench. I'll give a few people wrenches. So anyway, you're still there, right?
Yeah.
Good. So he's, as you know, he's a paternal character, and the subversion of his character is male heroes usually stand and fight, but he doesn't usually.
Right.
You okay?
Yeah, but my question is then why? Why is then does the female character necessarily subvert that? I don't have an issue with the Doctor being female.
Because in the review, and I agree with this, there's more of an expectation for her not to fight, whereas with the man there is, and especially if it's a hero.
But we already know the Doctor is a character, but we already understand. Like it would be that I would agree with if it hadn't been that there were 50 years of already established, well, 50 on and off, you know, years of already saying like, so this is who this character is. We already know who the Doctor is, therefore the physical face. So actually, this goes back into transhumanism a little bit. So even though the Doctor is, of course, a little different with every incarnation, there's still like a core of a character there that exists. And since we are familiar with that core of a character, then I don't have a real issue with the Doctor being female because I don't see how it...
well, it would be very weird for a woman to be paternal, wouldn't it?
Well, then maybe they can explore that. Then explore. Well, I mean that would be in because no, but they're gonna. She's gonna be the same. Paternalistic characters, and you know maybe that's characteristics. Maybe that's fine. It would be interesting though if they had a female Doctor who still has the same core crux of a character, but then had maternalistic aspects instead of the paternalistic aspects.
I mean that
would be interesting to see.
But they're not going to do that.
Oh, it'll can't do fucking anything interesting.
And the thing is, what I don't understand is even the Russell T Davies era, the Master was born as a boy and then he became a woman. And what's interesting is in the comments, a woman mentioned that Missy is no longer interested in world domination, galactic domination like the Master was.
Right.
So the character's changed because he's a woman and now he's not interested. And it's like, what? They changed the character. He's meant to be the person who takes over the world. I don't mind a woman trying to take over the world. We've had loads of bad guys and villainesses who want to take over the planet and stuff like that. Like, I mean, why?
Sure.
Why
I mean,
did
that
they
actually
change
would have been that would have been an interesting subversion too, because that's
He'd still be the Master.
It's because why change the I didn't dislike Missy, but
I couldn't stand her because
I give Doctor Who a lot of passes sometimes. I think just because I like it so much as a concept and as a construct. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Time I've not bothered to follow it anymore.
Now
it's just
the most recent season I was like, nah.
History's repeating itself. It's going into the early to mid 80s. So I'm hoping that eventually well, no, this is bad because in the old one it started getting better and then they cancelled it. Right.
The biggest thing is that, like, particularly in that last season, it was like, oh my god, what a waste of Capaldi. And I felt like I could sometimes tell he was irritated. And maybe I was reading into that because I was irritated, so it's like I was projecting my emotions onto Capaldi and like looking for him to be annoyed.
I would say he is that type because he mentioned a few things he wanted to change about it, didn't he? Like no romance and stuff like that, and he did. And it seems like it's not gone the way he wanted it to. Maybe.
Well, they didn't ham-fist a romance between him and any of the companions, really.
Which is, I don't see the Doctor as romantic, to be fair. I never have done.
Okay, but you have to understand why women do.
I know.
Is that you totally want the guy in the blue box, particularly if he's a young, handsome man, to come and pick you up and take you on adventures through time and space. It's very appealing.
He was a handsome blonde in the 80s, and it's like, he's still
sure. Well, I know, but I think though that there's something about the idea. It doesn't like not when they have the considerably. Yeah, when you add in but when you add in also the younger actors, because that I think exacerbates it. Or
it's funny because David Tennant was 10 years older than not quite 10 years older than Peter Davidson when he started, but he was a lot older. He was well in his 30s.
Yeah, but Tennant has a boy face.
Yeah, he does. Not as much now.
No, yeah, but he did have a boy face, so he looks young.
He doesn't age though. Like it's weird. He doesn't have the boy face, but he still looks the same.
Yeah, I mean, because shit.
Imagine so you know what, in the special, the 50th anniversary special, is it actually the Fourth Doctor talking to him, or is it just somebody in that guise? I've always wondered. Because they don't outright say it's number 4, but the Doctor seemed to think, is that you?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not. Because who did they bring back? They got everyone who was still alive, I thought too.
Yeah, they got Tom. But they didn't bring David for some reason, or even Sylvester or Colin. Although they did their own thing. They did
but what's his name won't do any of it.
Christopher, yeah,
Eccleston won't do any of that shit.
Although he did like it, I think. Like he said, you can go do it. It's fine, you know.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe we talked about that. I don't know why I think maybe he eventually disassociated himself because. Was it more with issues you think with the showrunners, or more with he just didn't want to be known as Doctor Who for forever? In both cases, I think I understand that.
There was at first, and then eventually he just wanted to move on. I think he didn't like the writing where it was going. I think Milo will be Doctor within a year. Russell T Davies would have done that, I reckon.
Oh, why? Maybe that would have been. That would be interesting.
Hi, how you doing, everybody?
just fagging it up through time and space.
Colin Baker was a bit camp. I mean, to be fair, he was another Doctor whose vision was kind of overran by the writers and the producers. Because the writing he was meant to be this dark, almost schizophrenic Doctor who did things he didn't usually do, and yet they gave him this multicolored, horrible suit.
What an that was the worst costume.
Colin wanted a darker one, like a purple kind of thing, which could have worked.
Yeah, fucking drugs, man.
They were taking the piss out of the 80s fashion, but it's like
I guess, but it did not age well. I'll tell you that. Even at the time, though, watching as a kid, I was like, this is just. It's too, every once in a while, particularly in some of the old series, they would get just a little bit too campy for me, and I love camp, but it's like, tone it down just a little.
And there's what else is there? Oh, the only time that they actually did do it was Sylvester McCoy when he changed to a brown jacket, and he was dark. Bloody hell, he is the true what the Doctor is like. Pretends to do something that he isn't. Yeah. And the next thing you know, you're blowing up your own planet. The Daleks did. That is the darkest thing the Doctor's ever done. Like,
absolutely,
The darkest things that Colin Baker did was nearly kill Perry, but that's because he was under regeneration,
right,
whatever it is, psychosis. So he was like, didn't know what he was doing, and then he killed the Cyber Controller. But that was self-defense. He's considered the Dark Doctor, but he only ever killed one person in self-defense. And then there's Colin Baker Sylvester McCoy destroying a whole planet, even though he didn't do it, but he did.
Oh, well, that's what, like, with many characters like the Doctor, where I hate where writers kind of they put in this like little caveat of like, we'll have them do something really fucking evil essentially, but we'll just write our way out of it. Like one of my favorite examples of that, or least favorite, I guess, more accurately, is in comics. They basically, like, I don't know if you know about this, but there was a period of time in the, was it late 80s or in the early 90s, where Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, went absolutely fucking totally evil, blew up his hometown, like it just wiped it off the face of the planet, and killed the entire Green Lantern Corps. He killed all of them.
That's worse than Superman's ever done. Superman just conquers the world.
It was really bad. And they brought in this new character, Kyle Rayner, who was like the last Green Lantern, essentially. And he had to like rebuild the Corps, and it was really interesting. And then in the fucking end, they rewrote history by saying like, yeah, Hal Jordan did kill hundreds of thousands of people, but he was possessed by a space demon called Parallax, so it's not really his fault. I hate when there's like some kind of like, he's like, you're kind of trying to, turn a corner on having some character development, and it's like, nah, we can't have there has to be a level of what we can actually let people do that's bad or evil or whatever. My
favorite Green Lantern is John Stewart, isn't it?
He's the one from the cartoon, the black guy. Yeah,
I love him so much. He's so cool. Why couldn't they get him rather than Cyborg? I mean, there's no copyright on him for Fox, is there?
No, nobody owns any copyright on DC stuff. Everything on DC is owned by Warner Brothers.
Why didn't they do it? He's amazing. He was like, him and the Flash had some great chemistry, and also Hot Girl. There's no Hot Girl.
I'll tell you why there's no Hot Girl. It's because their backstory is really fucking confusing.
I know, but like they could streamline it. I know that's bad, but maybe I just want the cartoon in real people form. I'll even include Aquaman.
Yeah, people who grew up with the Justice League cartoon always do. I guarantee they do Hal Jordan, because if it's anybody else and they just dropped them into Hal Jordan's backstory, it would piss people off.
They need to get Ryan Reynolds. It would be so funny. And then Deadpool can reference it.
Yeah, that's actually the villain technically in that terrible movie. That was Parallax. That was the space demon. It's what it was supposed to be, but they just rewrote it to be something else. It was totally fucking stupid.
And then they shut him up, and it's like, no.
That movie was awful. That was a complete shit show.
He mentioned it in the film, didn't he?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but he said like, yeah, they shut me up. We don't talk about that anymore or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a few problems with like in the original one, and now in the second one they're saying Deadpool's going to get a boyfriend, but it's like, isn't he bisexual, or will fuck anything in the comics?
Yeah, he'll fuck. He's pretty much a fuck anything kind of guy. A lot of that shit comes from Daniel Way's writing that I don't approve of, but I also don't give a shit of Deadpool's sexuality. If he gets a boyfriend, it better be is Cable, and it's not. It's just a platonic boyfriend thing, because that's basically what Cable and Deadpool was. Joe Kelly, which was fucking great.
I've got Cable and Deadpool, so good.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the guy who's playing Cable is not big enough. He's kind of a bit too skinny, even though he's pretty big.
They just go into the visual effects and just make him bigger and wider. Like just like stretch him like in Photoshop.
That's Cyclops' son, isn't it?
Yes. Well, wait, no, not Cable. Hang on. You're thinking of yeah, it's fucking really confusing. Now I can't remember Cable's weird family tree thing. Because then there was the whole other thing with what's her name? Hope. And then she's sort of Cable's mom, but what's her name? Oh my god.
What is it like Metal Gear Solid, where the actual mum of Snake is his Japanese secretary, but
it's not like the there's weirdness. Okay, the entire Summers family tree is such a confusing fucking clusterfuck that I don't even want to touch it. Okay, because Cyclops' dad is also like a space pirate, so let's just run the fuck away from the Summerses because they're so fucked up.
That suddenly sounds like Star-Lord. Is that the space pirate?
In the movies.
Oh, in the movies.
They changed a lot about Peter Quill.
I do love Thingy as Peter Quill, though. I keep forgetting his name recently.
Chris
Pratt, that's it.
There's so many Chris's. It's like, I went to Chris Pine, and then I went to Chris Evans, and it's like, nope. And Chris Hemsworth, nope. It's one of those fucking Chris's.
Who's your favorite?
Out of them, Chris Pratt, because I loved him on Parks and Rec.
Oh, he was stupid. He was so stupid.
Oh, I had such a huge crush on him in Parks and Rec when he was just like a fat idiot. I was like, he's the most adorable ever.
Now he's a hunky idiot. So
I don't like. I like the dad bod more. I prefer.
Maybe he'll grow it out when he's older. You never know.
Yeah, I had a huge crush on him in Parks and Rec, and totally like identified as what's her name, April, in that whole thing. Just because I worked in a shitty job like that at one point.
Yeah, we've all worked shitty jobs. So
that's very true.
We need to get 100% sociological here.
Well, I've got right behind me.
Oh, she's got her books now. Oh.
I always have it. No, because it's like you said you wanted a topic, so I. Well, that sounds like when I drop it on the table. This is my massive book of comm theories. If you bring something up, I'll see if I've got a theory to describe it, or I could flip through it and find a theory.
You mentioned that, but look at this Roman army bit. Oh, look at the size of that. Look at the size of that.
Mine's bigger.
Patricia Southern, Roman army, 753 to 476. That's pretty much.
That's pretty specific, though. That's pretty specific.
Oh no, that's the whole history of the Roman Empire, discounting 1453, because the Byzantines are also Roman. But that's from the beginning of the city-state to the collapse of the Western Roman Empire. So.
So it's decline and fall. Oh, it's
kind of.
Which I have read. Yeah.
That's one thing I need to actually read all the way through. Only abridged versions.
Read the abridged version. You're way better off.
Nah. I want every gritty detail. I love it. Because I need to get back into reading history because I felt like I've been oh shit, I just saw something you need to see. But he's making me laugh now. But I just want to get back into it because I want to make history videos, so I need to start reading, and I need to think, what am I going to read about? What am I going to make a video about? And I thought, well, just watched A Bridge Too Far recently, which has every amazing British and American actor from the 60s and 70s in it. Robert Redford, Sean Connery.
I've seen it. It's been years. That's a great
Hopkins
film.
With hair. Anthony Hopkins has hair, and he looks really young, and he's badass in it. But he's the only one who doesn't shoot anyone. Robert Redford gets his hands dirty, sort of. He spends most of his time directing people. Like that opening battle on the bridge is amazing. That actually happened.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. All events are real, but that particular battle did happen. The Germans drove over the bridge. The only difference is the Brits didn't know it was the Germans at first. They didn't know they were coming because they assumed Horrocks' army, who was real, and the actor who played General Horrocks knew Horrocks. That's why he looks so much like him and is like him because he was like that. And, like that general's a really interesting character because he was one of those generals who would like know everybody's name and talk to them. He'd go up to the front with his big map. That was his thing, and say, "You got to go here, there." So when you watch that scene, that's what he used to do. And part of me wonders. It seems to me that he didn't want them to just relax and march through Holland like, yeah, we're winning this. He wanted them to get there, didn't he, as quickly as possible? But Michael Caine's character was like, oh, we're the vanguard again. And so he's like, let's just relax. And then that cost us 9 days of men and equipment. And I wish they did more of the Poles. Like, the Polish don't really get as much of a role in it as I thought they would. And they lost a lot of men in that battle.
Well, the Poles have been historically pretty fucking ignored, even though they've been through some fucking shit.
They were amongst the best men in the British Army because they joined our army. They weren't a separate thing. That's why the Dutch guys dressed as a Brit and Poles dressed like us. Oh, do you want to see the meme that I saw? I'm gonna
sure.
tag you in.
Show me your memes.
You'll love this. I didn't make it. But like, yeah, so what's your sociological book about?
Oh, it's not a book. It's a massive collection of just research on different topics.
Right. What I want to know, is there 100% sociological stuff on sexy stuff?
Is any of it sexy? Let's see. Oh, probably. Yeah, there's probably something kind of sexy in here. I mean, I would find a lot of it sexy, but you know, that's different.
Yeah, you anybody talks 100% sociological to you, you're like, take me to your room.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Let's see, friendly or unfriendly persuasion, the effects of violations of expectations by males and females. That's not going to actually be about sex. Ooh, this is a nice. Ooh, that's a nice graph, though.
Oh God.
Oh, this is a very nice model. I don't remember this.
Oh, it's a good model, is it?
Oh, yeah, I might leave that for later. Save that.
Somebody's going to isolate this clip.
100% sociological. No, it's actually 100% communication research. Let's see.
Communications. Good Lord.
Oh yeah, it's my stuff. Rounded theory, structuration theory. What else?
Is that how Hard Bastard got to your heart? 100% sociological means.
We don't talk about sociology at all. We only talk about politics.
No way.
No. Yeah,
Are you two similar or different politically? Would you say? Because he doesn't strike me as an anarchist.
Well, I mean, I'm a libertarian / anarcho-capitalist. Yeah, ANCAP leaning, yeah. And you know, some of that's a meme because ANCAP memes are the fucking best. I generally describe myself as a right-wing libertarian.
Is Stefan Molyneux even ANCAP anymore? Because he seems to be alt-right at the moment.
Who?
Or is he just pandering?
Molyneux?
Stefan, yeah, Molyneux.
Molyneux, I think he's a right-wing libertarian. He probably described himself
as the same. Did you call him Molly Meme? Is that what you called him?
Yeah. You've never called him Molly? That's his name. Stefan Molly Meme.
I thought you said Molyneux. I thought you said Molly Meme.
Yeah, Molly Meme.
Oh, right.
That's how you pronounce it. That's the accurate way.
Isn't that like an Anglo-Norman name, so it's Molyneux?
No, it's Molly Meme.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. This is the dumbest. No, Molly Meme. M-E-M-E.
Ah, right. Got it.
Meme. Because he's a living meme.
He is a living meme. Not an argument. I've used that. I don't like him, but I'll use that meme.
Oh, I like him.
I love it.
I think he's hilarious. I think he's also very great. I've had a very pleasant conversation with him. I also think that he's incredibly self-centered, but a lot of people are. So
he creeps me out a bit with the cult thing.
Yeah, that was weird. Oh, structuration theory. I hate that. I don't like structuration theory at all. Yeah, I don't think he does that anymore, but that stuff was really bizarre.
Yeah, it was. But like, you know, he is funny. He is funny. I like his humor.
He's funny. He's often also right, but he's very, very self-obsessed. And I think it makes him a little bit unwilling to discuss differing ideas sometimes, which I don't like. And I've seen him, he rolls over people when they call into his show. And sometimes it's like they're trying to bring up a legitimate point, and he's just like, no, and here's why you're wrong, instead of actually trying to have a conversation. I don't like that. But I don't like that from anybody. So
not an argument.
well, sometimes it isn't an argument, but oftentimes it is, and
I just wanted to say it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say not an argument. I love it.
It is good. Here's a good theory. A moral intuition's model of media effects. It's a really fucking interesting. If you know anything about moral foundations theory, moral intuition's model is fucking fascinating. That's actually my academic grandfather.
Have you noticed going after Gone with the Wind?
Yes.
You know what's annoying about that? Most of the cast were not racist. Quite the opposite. They were rabid anti-racists, like Clark Gable.
Yeah.
Willing to boycott the Oscars if it weren't for who played the maid again? First African American Oscar winner. She begged him to go, and apparently he slipped a real whiskey in one of the scenes because they were good mates.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only overwriting history, it's also just like overwriting a piece of cinema. And I'll say this. Let me close this because I'll get distracted. But
Leslie Howard, was it? No.
I used to know her name. I can't. It's not coming to me right now. But I'll say this.
Hattie McDaniel. That's it.
Okay. McDaniel. If they start overwriting that, that's gonna be the first thing. Second thing, it's gonna be you can't. You're not gonna be able to watch fucking Star Trek because exactly. But the thing is that, like, so I'm gonna show a clip from this in my video I'm working on. Nichelle Nichols, this is a famous. Actually, hang on. I'm gonna leave you on with bated breath for 1 second. Like another beer. I'll be right back.
I'll just treat them to some historical, 100% historical things. I don't know. So, not a lot of people know from the Antifa side that most of these people in Gone with the Wind weren't racist. Like, they were pretty non-racist, especially Clark Gable. He was not happy about how they were treating McDaniel, so he nearly boycotted the Academy Awards, but he was convinced to go anyway. Yeah.
What?
I was just lecturing people on Gone with the Wind. Yeah, it is true. This is Wikipedia. No, but it's true. He was great friends with Hattie McDaniel, slipped her a real drink in one of the scenes.
Nice.
And, he tried to boycott the premiere. That's it. The premiere, not the Academy Awards, in Atlanta because she wasn't permitted to attend. He only went when she pleaded him to go. And he remained friends with her forever, pretty much.
That's awesome.
Always went to her parties. Clark Gable, man. I don't even know if he was a Republican or Democrat. Does it even matter? Like, no, it doesn't say.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Life.
My fear, though, is that with all of this stuff, is that it quickly becomes a slippery slope.
It's funny. I mean, like in the 20s and 30s, most black people voted Republican.
Yes, that is a very big topic to get into. If you want to talk about how the Democrat Party essentially swindled black people into voting.
What you were going to say first. Say what you're going to say first.
What I was going to say. No. I went to go get a beer, and actually this time it is. Let's see. It is Founder's Green Zebra, Watermelon, and Sea Salt Ale.
What? Watermelon? Oh, go. Now we're going somewhere.
It's really good. Anyway. So, Star Trek was the first instance of an interracial kiss that was ever aired on national TV.
In America or ever?
On U.S. national TV, I don't know anywhere, but it was 1967.
I've seen the British one. It was before that because it was in black.
I think it was. I think that's why, like, I've trained myself. There's another thing where it's like I had to train myself because at one point someone said, "No, hang on." There was one time where there was an interracial kiss beforehand. It's like, okay,
it's a completely different kiss as well. It's they're very much into each other.
It's not that way in Star Trek. In Star Trek, they're being controlled by space gods. And I'm a huge fan of the original Star Trek, but that's not actually the point. The point is this, and I've heard Nichelle Nichols tell this story in person, for example. So I'm going to give my version of her story as I remember it being relayed to me when I was 13, 14. Now I've heard it since then, so I'm not, she changes it sometimes too. So, stories are not always, when they're being retold, are not always static. Nichelle Nichols, Uhura, was actually originally, she wanted to be a singer. She was in Hollywood for music, not for acting, and got hired onto Star Trek to work with Gene and the rest of the cast. And, Gene Roddenberry, you can fault him because he certainly was a flawed man, as all of us are. But
You're a man?
Well, oh, man, referring to human species, whatever. I hate that kind of thing, too. Like, I remember this is a total aside, but I had a feminist English teacher dock me points for saying mankind in a paper my freshman year. And she's like, this is now over 10 years ago. So fuck you. And that's just been going on for a while, way longer than 10 years, too. But, she went to G and she said, this is at the very end of the first season, she said, you know, I want to go back to working in music. I don't have any interest really in doing the acting stuff. It's not for me. It's not why I came to Hollywood. And this is, again, the version I heard. He said, you can't quit. Don't you understand what I'm trying to do here? And, you know, they went off shooting because they were like, I guess they were done with part of the shooting of the first season or most of it. And she went to a Martin Luther King rally. And afterwards, somebody said, there is a fan of Star Trek who wants to meet you. And they had her backstage, and it was Dr. King.
Yes, I heard this one. But
yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. But I mean, this is a great story. It's not the one that will make me cry every time. The Star Trek one that makes me go like, oh, fuck me. But yeah, all right, I'll do it.
No, just tell us, but continue with Nichelle.
I will tell the other one, but okay. So Dr. King said, you know, I love the show. It's the only show that my wife and I let our kids stay up late to watch because of everything. She said, well, you know what? I'm going to quit actually. And he said, no, you can't. Don't you see what he's trying to do? And she said it was like pretty much verbatim what Jean had said in terms of like, you're not playing a black character. You're playing a character. You're an equal. And that's why this is so important. My fear is that if you go and watch 1967 Star Trek, the women are all wearing like tiny little mini skirts and there's still clearly racial issues going on, but it was groundbreaking for the time. And if you're going to first start by saying Gone with the Wind is not okay, then when does it stop where next it's Star Trek, where it's the thing that actually helped destroy racism in Hollywood?
Although, to be honest, there's a few clips where women don't wear mini skirts. Like technically the Klingons don't. They're wearing shorts with tights.
I mean, yeah.
It just looks like a thing, you know. It
doesn't bother me. I know it bothers some people, but whatever.
I love mini skirts. Who doesn't?
And they are very short in the original series. They are like, you can see the bums sometimes. You know, you can just see the bottom of the ass, which is it's like underboob. That's the best part where you can just see it like right underneath the skirt.
I'd argue they were shorter in the 60s than they are now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But that's...
If you ascribe to the notion that there is a correlation between women's skirt sizes and the economy, means they were richer back then than they are now.
I had not heard that theory.
I have. It's more of a correlation. It's like it's weird. You'll have to look it up. It's well weird. It's true.
Oh, it's probably... there's lots of weird correlations like that. Like ice cream sales and violence is the common one. But yeah, that's my fear with Gone with the Wind. And you know, you can think Gone with the Wind is a boring film. It's 4 hours long or some shit like that. So I like it too. I had to watch it as a kid, which is almost why I don't like it. Because it's my dad. My dad thinks it's like the greatest film ever made. But I'll say, you shouldn't ban Gone with the Wind. And you know what else that everyone should fucking watch in a history class? Triumph of the Will.
Oh, yeah.
Leni Riefenstahl.
Woman.
A woman who made propaganda for the Nazis. And it is a fantastic film. I've been talking about it since all this shit's been coming up about Gone with the Wind. You should have to watch that, and you should have to watch Birth of a Nation in history class, because it shows you the power of propaganda. And the thing about propaganda is that if you explain it and you break down how this is powerful as a piece of propaganda, you explicate it, you describe it, and you inform people, it holds no power.
Technically, it's not propaganda, because if I've looked into it, because I was obsessed with the director for a little bit, mainly because I was obsessed with Lillian Gish, because I find her incredibly attractive. I know she's dead, but she was hot. She was so hot. Anyway,
she's alive in your dreams.
Hey, she's 100 years older than me. So again, 1893, 1993. You know, 93 best year. Anyway, but like it's hard to explain. He did it more for ego than he did it for racial reasons, because he had... I don't want to sound like I'm excusing the racism. I'm not, but he did actually have black friends, and he was in some cases anti-racist, because he later on did a film called. Not only did he do the one after that called Intolerance, he also did Broken Blossoms, which, yeah, I know the white guy plays the Asian, but it's an Asian in love with a white and vice versa. That's anti-racist. I think he did it because he thought it was a good story, and he was brainwashed by his dad, who was a Confederate veteran, and he thought, Klansman, eh? Oh, this will make a good story. And this allowed me to make the epic that I've always wanted to make, because he tried and failed to do all the things that the Europeans were doing. And then he made Birth of a Nation, and it broke new ground. It broke new ground!
Well, the real problem, was not him as much as it was Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah.
Wilson was he exacerbated any of the propaganda that was inherently there.
The novel was, but not.
Yes. I mean, I think you could still make, even if it's unintentional propaganda. Now, Lenny Riefenstahl, that's fucking propaganda. But Woodrow Wilson, absolutely, he gave basically his public support for the film, and he was generally a fan of the Klan, as were all the Democrats at that point in time. They were.
I know, and that's why I'm laughing.
Democrats invented the Klan, and they systematically enforced it. And if you thought fucking Wilson was bad, well, Jesus Christ, Roosevelt was worse.
Roosevelt, really? Which one, Teddy or FDR?
FDR.
Oh, really? Now.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, though, he did do.
Do you have any idea how fucking terrible FDR was?
Well, he did help the working class to some extent. I'm not.
Depends on your definition.
Yeah. Definition.
Okay, so ends justified the means is almost the argument you get there with FDR. Not a fan, by the way, but
I mean, he must have done something right for to be voted in 4 times. So,
really, you know that a lot of people would have voted for Obama again.
True, but
people weren't very smart sometimes. Yeah, people weren't very smart sometimes, though. Well,
although
look,
his VP was helped end the segregation of the army, so I guess he was kind of better. I don't know.
Race relations in this country are 10,000 times worse. We are right now at racial tension levels of during the civil rights movement in the United States.
Even we're going backwards, and we've never had it as bad as you.
No, because you did not have the same institutions of slavery that were, as systematic as they were here.
Technically, you couldn't, because in English law, as soon as a slave steps onto English soil, he's free because of being the conqueror. He outlawed it because he wanted money.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and a lot of the whole ideas of, most of the American Constitution is based on French philosophy and British citizenship and the laws that are entailed in that. Because it was the whole thing of like, it is very much of a fuck right off. Like, I'm a sovereign citizen, or not sovereign, I'm a citizen, fuck off. Not sovereign citizen. Am I being insane? My fucking naval law. Shit.
What do they mean by naval law? Do they mean actual rules of the sea, or?
Yeah, that's how, like, it's essentially, it's like what sovereign citizens basically think that the argument is that they're essentially a ship. I can't do it. It's like, I'm a boat, and your laws don't apply to me because I'm in international waters. It always makes me think whenever I start to really go, not all the people who say things like a sovereign citizen, I might be entertained, not all of them, some of the more crazy ones, but it always makes me think, do you know that guy Ken Bone, the guy who was in the debate, he wearing the big red sweater, who looks really comfy? Yeah. And then he got in trouble because he made the things he said on Reddit, and people got all pissy at him and called him a weird sex pervert. But no, I always think of him because one of the things he said on Reddit was he said he loved pregnant women because they were like big, beautiful human submarines.
When they give birth, it's like a torpedo, right?
I guess. But now whenever I think of sovereign citizens, I just think of Ken Bone and his big, beautiful human submarines traversing their way across the American Ocean.
And now you can add babies or torpedoes. I'll be right back. I need to go for a piss.
Yeah. All right, I'll check out the chat. What's going on? Maritime salvage law, they're corporate entities. Yeah. Thank you, Crucial Bunny. Yes, FDR was a racist and anti-Semite. His New Deal is what killed capitalism by creating all these regulatory agencies. Well put and absolutely accurate. Fuck FDR. Holy shit, fuck FDR. You know what? I just got finished reading Dinesh D'Souza's book. He calls FDR the American Fuhrer. That is completely fucking correct. That's a very... And apparently he's not the only one. there was a German newspaper at the time that called him the American Führer. Of course, you know, Führer in German means Grand Emperor or Grand Leader. It doesn't necessarily have anything inherently to do with Hitler. But yeah, Jesus Christ, he was a fucking fascist. He had nothing but nice things to say about Mussolini. Yeah, they were besties essentially. So fuck FDR, fuck the New Deal. I mean, like, if people say, oh, some good things come out of the New Deal, it's like, maybe, kind of, but at what fucking cost did that have to get to that point? And I don't really think many good things did come out of it. So yeah, fuck Woodrow Wilson, fuck FDR. And fuck the entire Democrat Party. I did look that up, ultra rationalist. I saw your thing that you posted. You know, it's not actually the argument that I'm coming from, that there is no possibility for interspecies total differentiation between R and K selection, but mine is, I'm coming from a sociological standpoint.
Sociological.
Fucking A.
Sociological screeching. I'm a boat. Don't mess with my rights.
I haven't actually been on Discord in forever. I haven't talked to Layman in a while.
I love Layman. He doesn't talk to me.
He doesn't like you then. No, he doesn't. He's just he's busy, I think.
Yeah. I'd love to know where he actually is from, because I always thought he was Polish. I don't know why. Because I remember him say something. Oh shit.
God.
Monday Matt uses the same webcam as me. How does he get it to look so nice? Oh, Monday Matt uses a C920 Logitech. He's got the master race. Yeah. That's the best webcam on the market, in my opinion. But
yeah, I am not working on that yet. I'm not working on doing the, I think even after I do the face reveal.
You know how much it is? About 70 quid or 60. So for the best webcam on the market, in my opinion. Let's have a look. Is it?
I'll look into it. I mean, I don't think once I even do the face reveal, I'm still gonna probably stick with the avatar. I just for a number of reasons.
It's easier. I remember.
No,
doing
it's. I don't think it is easier because it does take a while to do the little shitty animations. But not animations. By that I mean moving to another fucking thing.
$59.99 in British.
Oh, that's
money.
real. That's real nice. Yeah, so that'll be 70 here. What is it again? One sec. What is it again? Because I might do it. I don't know.
Logitech C920 HD Pro USB 1080p webcam. So good. It's generally the best webcam I've ever had. Probably ever will have.
Oh yeah, it's only
new version.
Yeah, 58
the
here.
version not as good. It's generally not as good.
I'm thinking about it. But again, like this is right now is such a tumultuous period because I'm gonna be moving pretty fucking soon.
Oh, you're moving house?
Yeah, I'm gonna go move to Philly.
Oh, that sounds
to be
so
in the
cute.
same town. Yeah. Yeah, fucking well, that was very lucky. It was very lucky. Where I live and where he lived were very close. They were close enough that we could do the long distance thing. It's been 5 months. I'm starting to be like, I can't do the long distance anymore.
But at least you're willing to go over there because sometimes it usually ends.
Yeah. Now my family's from that part of the country, so it'd actually be one of the things I want to start maybe doing is writing for political outlets. I'm thinking about doing it. I don't know.
I've thought about that. I mean, maybe for
sure.
myself, more on Medium, but I never use my Medium account. I've used it twice, and I should use it more because it's good to write. I love writing, and I've not written for ages.
Right. I have to write. It's a pun. I write all my stuff out as I script everything. So it's like, I can just, instead of just bitching and then reading it, which I don't think I'm very good at the reading aspect, I just write stuff for some outlets. And I don't know exactly, it seems like a really stressful job to be a journalist. I did not get a degree in journalism. I have a degree in public relations, marketing.
Oh, you could be my
psychology.
PR person.
Well, yeah, I do have a degree in PR, and I have a degree in well, my undergrad degrees are organizational communications, public relations, and psychology.
I just have.
Then
history.
I have a. I'm a.
But we're from the same, technically from the same faculty, aren't we? Humanities, right?
Yes.
I would like cheers you right now.
Yeah. Yay! Cheers.
Faculty bitches.
Kanpai. Skull.
So like, when you said the boat thing, I'm a boat, that made me laugh so hard. I wasn't even making a laugh. I was just dead. I'm a boat. That should be a meme.
I mean,
How did Mr. America not see that? That was the next CIA niggers.
Yeah.
You know what? I tried to do a meme with the new one. Hack broads. Did you see that bit?
I liked it though. I heard it. I caught it. I got it. I got the reference.
Nobody did it.
I got your reference then? Well, then there's one. They are hack broads. Yeah, I was walking to the shop to grab my beer and I had your video on and I was I had a heart. I think I audibly went, ha, hack broads. Like walking down the fucking street.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought of that before I even made it. I was in work. I was in the kitchen, and I was I was just bored, and I thought, oh, hack broads.
But doesn't that make you a hack fraud for ripping off a meme of a bunch of hack frauds?
Well, you know, it's a hack fraud life. I'd rather be a hack fraud than and own it than them.
Yeah, no, I got it. I got the meme at least. So you weren't totally reaching into the
everybody a hack. To some extent, everybody is a hack. To some extent.
Oh sure, I'm an absolute hack.
Oh, I am. Dr. Layman is 100% so.
You have to embrace your hackness, though.
Mm. I mean, there's a person got a hack job that I know on Twitter. She's a hack.
Yeah.
Also, have you? I know that you watch Thy Name is Skepticism.
Who?
Thy Name is Skepticism. Have you heard of her?
No.
She's a YouTuber. She's really good. Indian YouTube. Well, South African / Australian, but she's Indian.
Okay.
Because there's Indians who live in South Africa.
Yes.
Yeah. She's a good fan of you. I've been trying to get you two to meet each other.
Yeah, anytime.
Really but first I'll show you her channel because she's really good. She's one of those kind of socially awkward types, so she's kind of shy, but she's really good.
Hi, that's me. Yeah. I rely
she's young as well.
My social acumen exists entirely in a bottle.
She's literally a little bit older than my sister. Must be about a year difference. That's how crazy it is. She's really good though. Like she used to be a feminist, but not anymore. Like
yeah, you get a lot of that. I think you know.
She got out early, thankfully.
Good. helps to escape from some of the it helps to escape from some of the indoctrination.
I was never a feminist. It's weird. I mean, I used to be more.
I never was either.
I can't tell if I'm more left wing or less left wing than I am now. I feel like I haven't moved.
I'm pretty simple. Like I said,
I used to call myself a socialist, but I don't anymore. But I still kind of. But I'm still kind of in. I mean, not the social justice shit and the pseudoscience bullshit, but like in terms of a welfare state and the working man. Like, I mean, when I mean the working man, I mean white, black. I don't give a shit. But that's my family's thing. We've always my mum was one of the first people I've ever known, and she's left wing as hell, to say the white working class have been abandoned. That's her thing. Yeah. And she hates Owen Jones because he's a hack, and she was the first to point that out before anybody else. And you know how she figured it out? Because in introduction of his book Chavs, which means white trash, it's actually
I know what a chav is. Jesus, I'm obsessed with the international white trash.
Is in Russian.
Yeah, there's white trash of every. Doesn't matter where you're from. There's always white trash.
I mean, technically in India, there's white trash, and they're not even white.
There's trash of like every culture. Like it's not just. I mean, you can call white trash. It tends to have particularly interesting habits and culture, I suppose I would say. But every type of people have their trash humans. You know, they're garbage humans. Excuse me.
She knew he was a hack because he was middle class, and he admitted it. And she was like, "Yeah, he definitely doesn't really care." And she was proven right. She doesn't even like Corbyn, but she still voted. I feel like she just didn't want the Tories in. I could see why, but it's like,
oh, who is this Bint? Who is like, I don't talk to. Did you see this? There was a bunch of articles about it recently.
The Guardian. I'm gonna make a video
on
that.
Probably from the Guardian, where it was some woman who was saying like, I won't talk to Tory women. I'm not gonna make friends with them, and like I hate them and shit like that. It's like, what the fuck? You're an elected official. Jesus fucking Christ.
But to be honest, I've never seen a conservative talk to a left winger either, unless it's like at work.
I mean, that's true. I don't like that shit either. You know, I'm very much about dialogue.
I'd say in real life they actually talk to each other more than the politicians do. So like, if you're not a politician, you'll talk to a conservative. You won't even know they are unless you talk.
Right. Oh, I was telling you my story about how I got hit on by the Antifa guy.
Oh yeah, and I got hit on by an SJW in Poland, didn't I?
It's like, yep. Yeah, my guy was he was from the South somewhere. I don't know. He didn't say exactly where.
Did he have the accent though?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. I'm from Antifa. You're right.
No. Your South, not mine.
Oh, my South.
Yes.
Ugh. Oh, of course he is. Of course he is.
Yeah, and he was just
Camden or Canterbury.
Yeah, not my South.
There's a few Southerners in my work. I do love them, but the South sucks.
And he yeah, he wanted to fuck me so bad that I was like, let me see how I can play this. I'm gonna start just dropping hard red pills, and I mean real ones. I'm gonna be like, you understand that there's an average one standard deviation between IQs of blacks and whites, who are also and standard deviation in IQs between whites and Asians, and like, and I just went on, and he was just like, and he's like, well, but actually, what? Oh, he talked some shit about Nigel Farage at me, and I said I would love to have a drink with Nigel, and he's like, you mean like as a joke, right? And I was like, no. I love Nige. I fucking love him.
I don't think that is legit. I reckon it's just all a show. He doesn't actually drink beer like that. He's probably champagne or something.
I would love to have a drink with Nigel.
To be honest, the more I've watched, the more I realise he's good at speeches. And that
he's excellent.
That anti-EU speech is actually generally good. Like,
yes.
Overall, I do think UKIP isn't that good, because I think if it was more of a cross-party thing, it'd work. And there is a few liberals there, but
what's even happening right now with UKIP?
I think they're under a lot of turmoil because
that's what it seems like to me. Like
they've achieved the goal, so now they're all fighting each other. So.
Right? Yeah, which is the whole fucking issue that I think is happening with a lot of.
I just feel
skeptic community is that like, oh, we won the first battle, so let's just fucking knife each other.
Thankfully, I was never a part of any community, so like,
I'm certainly not. But
I just know many people who are considered part of it, and even then, I don't really think it's a thing. I honestly feel, again, like I said before, it's just a load of people from the left and the right and the centre and God knows what else in some kind of weird alliance. Because there's even communists who don't like SJWs. Like
I've yet to meet one, but
quite a few. There's a guy called Stanis. Oh, what is it? Stamistat Radio.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's anti-SJW quite a lot. I don't know if he's a Marxist or a communist. There's a slight difference. I think Marxists are more theorists, while communists are more practitioners. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind of Marxist he is. Is he Trotsky? Is he Engels? Actually, there's not a lot of Engels Marxists anymore, is there?
Well, if you're... I don't know. I
mean, it was different. It was different. Engels was more like, my communism is everybody goes through walks in the country, because he was rich. He wanted everyone to have that life. Whereas Marx was more like, there's no poor people if everybody's poor.
Well, except for the 0.001% that rules everything, which is what Marx wanted to fucking be.
Engels actually did it's the first time I heard of him, and I didn't realize how important he was until I connected his name. He went through all of like the Northwest's factories, or at least most of them, seeing the working conditions, and there was a place called Stile Mill in Lancashire, near Manchester, sort of. And he went there and he gave them a damning review, even though they were considered one of the better ones to work at. And I didn't realize it was him until a week later, and this was in school. I was like, shit, it's Engels. Like, he actually went, and part of the reason why the manifesto came around was because he went around doing a lot of research, going to the factories and seeing it for himself. So,
it's interesting though. I always wonder about that early When around would this have been? Temporal?
Like, imagine if Engels was the only guy who did Marxism. Wouldn't it be interesting? It wouldn't be like it is now.
Yeah.
Because
Marxism as an entire theory is fundamentally flawed.
Oh, it would be, but
impossible.
Again, his idea of the utopia was different because, like he said, he wanted everyone to have that country walk because he was rich.
Yeah, you know what Marx wanted
though
and advocated for though. It required global Marxism on an international scale because he was honest. It wouldn't work otherwise unless everybody is fucking poor. It's not going to work.
Would it have been interesting? I reckon if Germany had also gone communist, it would have gone to the domino effect potentially because Russia started, then Germany. But I think the intention wasn't Russia; it was Germany, Britain, all the actual empires, because then it could start a chain reaction and the whole world would be engulfed in civil war. But no.
I think it was more. It was more nefarious than that.
Yeah, oh, but I mean, like the idea to get it to the state to be communist because it requires everybody to be in revolution. But the problem was it never happened. And I was thinking, well,
yeah, it's an absurdity. Is why
if it went from Russia to Germany, then who knows, France or Italy, then it would have created a domino effect and they might have won. But thankfully, it didn't happen.
Thankfully, yes, thankfully.
Oh, I'm so fascinated to see it as an historian and somebody who likes alternate history. I would love to. I don't want it to happen, but I'd love to see it. I want to see it to see what it would.
So if you get like an alternate time machine, so you can, it would be interesting to look at. I don't want it anywhere the fuck near me.
I also noticed there used to be a proper difference between the socialists and the Marxists, but not so much now.
Well, the ultimate goal of socialism is communism.
No, not really. Because Marx criticized socialists in the manifesto. He called them Christian Mons.
Because yes,
and there's like a supermarket chain in Britain called Co-op, which is socialist. It's capitalist socialism.
Well, right, we have a Co-op here. It's the same thing.
Really?
Oh. Well, I mean, it's like they just call, and it's a typical name for like a local, where you buy into it, like you work there or something, so that you get stuff for free. You don't have to pay for stuff. You work there. Yeah, we've got one right there. I buy my groceries there.
I bought all my shopping for this week from there, but like
it's not that expensive, and they have my place is not too pricey. It's doable. The thing is, it's walking distance, whereas the supermarket is not for me.
But the Co-op I with you last time.
That was fun. Oh, you went to the Co-op, so you bought wine from the commies.
Well,
the socialists. The socialists.
I mean, the Labour Party in the 40s and 50s and 60s were and 70s were anti-communist, very much so. And H.G. Wells, I wouldn't call him a communist. I mean, he had his own idea of a utopia, but it wasn't a communist one.
Oh, H.G. Wells, was also a fan of fascism.
No, it was eugenics, but he later abandoned it.
Yeah, I think that had he lived, he would have been.
It's interesting though because like
more down with that shit. I don't like that because every time someone's like, well, yeah, they had that opinion, but then they abandoned it.
He did. Like he even was against apartheid.
So does Heidegger says he abandoned his support of fascism.
Do you reckon he did?
No, that's my whole point. I don't buy when people say like, yeah, I used to believe that, unless you show me something.
Well, I know that H.G. Wells was definitely thought that racism was irrational because he was anti-apartheid before it was even a thing.
I am a fan of H.G. Wells, and I do want to believe that but he did believe in eugenics. But that was popular at the time.
It was.
So maybe he did change. I don't know.
He's such a good writer, though, and
I love his writing. Absolutely.
What's your favorite one?
I just reread a whole bunch of them.
I need to read The Shape of Things to Come because that.
Oh yeah. Because they have these things at Barnes and Noble, where it's like big collections, and they're really nice because they've got gold inlay on the front, and I got a whole bunch of them. And I just reread all of his. It's got to be The Time Machine. I mean, just in terms of overall stories, it's just I first read it when I was like 6 or something, so I've got to say that one.
Oh, here's the thing. Wells was one of the first people to help protest against the death penalty for the Scottsboro boys. It was
Oh,
America that yeah. Oh, and he did do something on South Africa. It was Zulus. He said that he really admired them. He admired Black South Africans quite a lot.
I don't know enough about him. I need to do more. I would need to do more research before I made any definitive statements about my.
Yeah, he did a book called The
life.
Future in America, which is called, and that's a chapter called The Tragedy of Color. With a U, obviously. He actually met T. Washington, apparently.
Oh, nice, interesting. And political views. Yeah, I'd have to.
You know, technically, you know, it's weird. Eugenics kind of, in many ways, debunked itself in quite like they thought mixed race people would be, in many ways, inferior to the pedigrees, but they didn't find that. Well, I don't know. I heard it was the opposite, but again, it's not necessarily the opposite because Bob Marley died of a cancer only white people tend to get. So there's your good things and your bad things, but they generally didn't find anything remotely. And then obviously, I reckon you could technically breed a group of humans to be, in some extent, like a dog. I don't know. I mean,
well, I mean, natural selection. It's over a very extended period of time. Sure, you can breed in certain traits or breed out certain traits. That's just how natural selection works. It's not going to be a massive thing. You're not going to like over a couple of generations. You're not going to see anything huge. It's just going to be.
The thing is, we do that naturally. We don't do it on purpose. Like the eugenicists had nothing to worry about because we naturally gravitate towards that.
We naturally gravitate towards people who are more like us than dislike us. And that is on many levels. It does not just mean race. Actually, what the research has found is that race and genetics, in terms of that kind of shit, is not a good predictor of who you pick as a marital partner. What is a good predictor is your parents.
Yeah, like, it's weird because you could meet a black person and they'd be much more of a better mate than a white person.
If they have way more in common with you, if you share common values. If you,
what I mean? Yeah.
Right, you both come from let's say, a Christian background, or both of your parents remained married, where you're both conservatives. That is a much better predictor than race.
It's amazing because my mum and dad were together for 20 years, and actually they have a very similar background. Working class, parents split up. Hell, my dad didn't even know his real parent. Well,
it happens every time. This is the whole fucking issue.
Labour supporters. My dad's mixed race, but like he never had an introduction to Trinidadian culture beyond the music because he's big into reggae. But that's like a thing in his part of Manchester. It's the reggae central. So good. Hume. Anyway, Hume's fascinating place in Manchester. It's a case study all on its own. So many changes, so many different peoples have lived there and continue to live there. But yeah, exactly, ultranationalists. We are no healthier. I wasn't trying to say we were. It's just
it's just that it doesn't have the deleterious effects that were it doesn't, like, I don't like that. By the way, you do see that sometimes. I see that from people being like, the same people who will say, there's no such thing as white genocide, who will in the next sentence say, by the way, all of your grandchildren will be brown, which is like, what?
Well, maybe,
but those people, whatever. I've seen literally that Twitter where that person did that in 2 tweets in response. It's like, what the fuck? But that same type of person will also say shit like, mixed race people are better. And it's like, no,
we're not better. We're just probably...
I mean, look, having genetic diversity makes sense. It is good for the gene pool. But again, the thing that we find draws people to each other is shared heredity. And by that, I mean, what did you get from your parents? How were you raised? That kind of shit. That matters more than race or genetics.
That kind of stuff can in many ways go beyond race because there's a reason why so many people are attracted to each other. It's,
right. I mean, Hard Bastard's not white. He's an Italian.
Well, they are pretty white.
I'm sorry. That's a joke.
He doesn't sound it, does he?
Italian?
American Italian. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean he doesn't sound like a fucking Mario brother character?
No, he doesn't sound like, I'm making
Oh, God. The cringe.
I mean,
Italians are not white. Everybody in the chat agrees with me.
Although to be fair, his voice is like that.
What?
A little bit.
Are you insulting my man?
You know I love him. You know I love him.
You have hence insulted me.
Italians are very white, especially on the continent. They're so white.
Yeah, I think he's Northern Italian.
Yeah, that's well white. He can't get more white than that.
Well, but he's like a quarter Native American, so
okay, so
out the window.
But no, like people forget the Romans were white. The Italians, they don't. Apart from maybe Sicilians, because I knew a Sicilian.
They did it. They intermarried with people from North Africa.
Not as much as you probably think.
Not as no. It's not the. It's not the. What is the Tarantino line? Sicilians are niggers, I believe.
Yeah,
it's not that, but.
The thing is, they were the invaders, and you don't tend to fraternize with the enemy. You know what I mean?
Oh, so, sure.
It's like ancient Egypt, as we've seen in a recent study, from the beginning to the Roman times. They didn't change that much at all, genetically.
Sure.
That's happened in Sicily. They just live in the sun, so they're more brown than other white
people. Yeah. I just made this argument. This is what, like...
but, like, they are
things in humanity...
They are white Europeans. It's just that they've got tans.
Right. But a lot of that shit is that, like, I get irritated. I don't want to get too much into this. I get irritated when I find people doing what I believe is a denial of certain aspects of evolution because it makes them unhappy or uncomfortable.
I'm trying to argue that.
No, you're not. You're not. My point is that, like why aren't... So you see this from the We Was Kangs type of, like, melanin is a superpower. It's like, no.
Really? Why am I autistic?
You just lived in the sun, and they lived in the cold, shitty north, where there's not a lot of sun, and you don't need melanin to help protect from radiation. That's it. It's not like black people developed melanin for some superpower, or that white people don't have it because they hate black skin. It's just evolution.
Exactly. If my melanin is so good, why have I got autism? Well, Asperger's, but they say it's the same thing now. So.
No.
I mean, I would stick out in any. Well, actually, no. I can blend in and stick out at the same time in many different societies.
Yeah, it depends. I'm like the whitest motherfucker that's ever existed.
There was a person
so fucking white.
Nefertiti in Doctor Who, and she's mixed race. I can tell, but she's part black, and I let him off because it's like she can pass as Nefertiti, just about. She's so hot though. She's got nice breasts. So, Did you see that episode where he gets like a bunch of?
Yes.
She's well hot.
I believe.
That's my type.
Well, I like. Yeah. Well, I have a thing for ladies with darker complexions. I've said that before.
It's the hair.
It is.
Hair.
Oh, it's very much the hair is a big part of it. I like natural hair.
What is it about that type of curly hair? It's just so beautiful.
Because there was this girl, I remember when I was an undergrad, there was this girl who was mixed, and she was like I had the biggest crush on her, and I was always too afraid to ask her out. I could tell she was a hippie. Yeah, I could tell she was a hippie and probably therefore a lesbian or at least bi. But I was always too afraid to ask her out because she had just like because it was just massive, like, curly hair, and it was like mid brown, so it was like had like bits of blonde even in it.
I've seen
that,
like,
yes, very nice. I very much like. I was always too, because she always she was probably like a year ahead of me in college, and I always had a massive thing for her, but was always too afraid.
My best mate at work, now he's related to a Manchester United footballer called Wes Brown. I'm not going to tell you my friend's name. I want to protect him. So he's Jamaican. Wes Brown is mixed race. Actually, they both are to some extent, but for him, because he's a cousin, it's different, but they still are. He looks like you would expect, very dark skin for a Jamaican, but his hair, much like Wes Brown, if you ever look at a picture of him, he's got proper red hair. My mate's got more of a natural highlight. It's not proper black. Well, my hair is very jet black. No, it didn't used to be. I used to be brown, actually. And you can still see it a little bit, but it's more when the light shines on it. Her mum was Cuban, and there's a lot of Cuban Jamaicans actually, and that's just interesting, isn't it? Like he doesn't look it, but he is mixed race. And Wes Brown, his cousin, looks completely mixed race. You can tell he is. Like, he's ginger and he's got a caramel complexion. So it's so interesting. Also, my mate is a chemist. His degree was where you can actually make your own drugs and stuff.
So he's Walter White, yeah.
Oh, he's one of the most smartest guys I've ever met. He's so cool. And he's a bit of a shitlord. Oh, God, yeah. He's so smart. He's smarter than me. I would say, well, hands down smarter than me. Which makes me wonder what he's still doing in our place of work, but he needs to get on his 2 feet with the debt and all that. So, like, he's actually gets offers, but it seems like he just wants to get money first before he goes into a proper scientific role. I hope he does well for himself when he eventually leaves.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't have any friends left anymore, my dude.
He's got a bit of a ginger tint. But Jamaicans in general are mixed race, and he's even said, yeah, they are.
Well, yeah. Because all of that, it's actually, I had this really fucking interesting professor in undergrad who was studying, for example, the sort of morphology and the creation of these languages in these little tiny towns in Louisiana, where you had the influx of, so like Creole, he was studying the languages, so but it wasn't Creole, it was completely distinct. And he found that this was a fantastically amazing, like I'd have to go find the research because this is what he told us in undergrad, so I don't know how accurate it was. But he said he basically found that there were people who were in this town in fucking Louisiana, it had no real contact with the outside world, right? Who were completely mutually intelligible with people who were speaking Afrikaans.
Really?
And it was like, and they were two languages that had developed in isolation.
They could understand each other.
But they could understand each other. Not completely, but there was, they could, because it had similar influences, and they had come to, like hundreds of years of separation. I'll have to find it, because I don't know how accurate this was.
Scottish and African, like what?
Yeah. And that's a fucking fascinating thing, but that's also the thing about a lot of those people was that, like, people like from Jamaica and a lot of those places, they all were, you're a hodgepodge of all kinds of things,
Yeah, but the thing is, all their patois, they don't understand each other. Trinidadians can't understand Jamaicans, Turks and Caicos Islands. By the way, there's someone in my work from the Turks and Caicos Islands. She says that Jamaicans have a not the people in Britain, but in Jamaica itself, have a reputation for being violent. She didn't even say it in, like, I don't mean to sound offensive. No, they're pretty violent. And it makes sense because most of the other islands are kind of very peaceful, while Jamaica has a lot of issues. I mean, I don't know. I know a few of them are, like Turks and Caicos. The worst they've had is their prime minister got off with all the money. True, it happened. And they're British citizens, actually. They didn't ask for independence. So she has a passport and she can come back and forth whenever she pleases. It's protectorate. So, like Isle of Man, you've heard of the Isle of Man, right?
Yeah.
The same as that. So like, she could go to the Falklands or Scotland, whatever. Be fine. I'd love that. Wouldn't that be amazing if you were part of a protectorate and you could go to this other country that protects you and, like, live there and be a citizen? I
was talking to somebody from the Isle of Man on a poll one time. Just like, is there anything to fucking... No. It was text. I didn't get to hear what he sounded like, but it's like, what the fuck what goes on there? He's like, fucking nothing.
Well, they do have races. They race there. They have no speed limit.
Fucking nothing. Well.
They consider it part of the Northwest where I live, but not really. It's the oldest democracy in Europe, I think.
Oh.
But maybe Iceland is older. I don't know.
Iceland, I don't think they became a democracy, though, until...
It was medieval era, though.
Was Definitely. I should know that.
Come on, you watched that. You watched that?
No, I'm really obsessed with Iceland. It's my great... Actually, like, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, or if anyone ever has, but sometimes when I use OBS to capture my screen, like if I'm doing it on my, and you can see my Google, or Chrome, there's just a couple of tabs that just say, or not tabs, but favorites just say Iceland information, Iceland, because it's all about me trying to go there.
I will
real
say
fucking
though,
quick.
I will say the Italians. I know they might not like Peroni, but it is. I like it. You did a good job.
Hmm?
But like, yeah. I was just mentioning Italian beer, Peroni.
Oh, I don't know anything about beer. I know that I like this watermelon thing.
I mean, it's called Nastro Azzurro at the end. That's like its, I don't know, its motto. 1846, so before it was even a state.
Hmm.
Like, it didn't become a state until the 1860s, I do
I gotta
believe.
look up when the
Garibaldi.
fuck Iceland became a democracy.
Oh, that was definitely medieval era.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Look, 930 AD.
Wow. Hang on.
Isle of Man democracy. The Isle of Man was. Let's have a look. They're called Manx. It's well cool, isn't it? Like not like MANCS like me, but with an X. That's pretty cool. Oh, Tinwald or Timwald. That's their legislature. That's what it's called. And they've got the president of Tinwald, the Bishop of Soderman, Attorney General, non-voting. God, it's
the Alding. Okay. Yeah, you might consider. Yeah, I guess that is a democracy.
When was the Isle of Man government formed? It doesn't even say. Wait, Isle of Man government. There's a lot of devolution in Britain these days. Sometimes to our benefit, some to our detriment. I'll have to admit. Do you want to hear about that?
Sure. I think I'm gonna go fairly soon, though.
All right, I'll briefly mention devolution. Then I probably should go too. It's 12 o'clock.
Oh shit! I was just gonna go hop on my boy's HB stream and listen to him talk.
I might hop on with you.
Go ahead, listen to his soothing voice, lull you to sleep as he gets angry at the news.
So, what was I talking about?
Oh God.
Devolution. Okay. So in the 90s, we gave Scotland, Wales. Well, we all voted for it. Devolution to Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and a few of the protectorates. Devolution, so they have their own parliaments. Although some already did. So, like, if the Dominions, like Canada and South Africa, they already did. So we gave them their own governments, but England didn't. So the positives is that all the others get like basically home rule. They get to do what they want outside of what Westminster controls, but England doesn't. And this is called the West Lothian question. So everybody else, no matter if you're Scottish, Welsh, or Irish, gets to vote on English matters, but the English can't vote on their matters. And I know this because it's happened in practice. When they introduced increased tuition fees, Welsh MPs voted on it, and I'm pretty sure Scottish ones did too. Now, I don't know if they voted against or for it, but they voted on it when they shouldn't, because it was English fees, because that's... So this is why I'm fully in favour of an English Parliament, because it gets them out of it. But they don't do it, and they have promised devolution to England, but regional. So the Northwest or Manchester gets its own, which we have had to some extent with the NHS. But I don't want that. I'm not. I mean, I guess we're all nationalists to some extent, even Antifa. But like, fucking no. I want a parliament. It's going to be based in Birmingham or somewhere in the middle, because that's how the FA Cup works. That's a soccer football thing.
I don't understand anything about any of the sport balls. It doesn't matter what you call them.
So in Britain, we have the FA Cup. That's the cup competition.
Sure.
And it's always played in the Midlands, which is right in the middle. So all the North and South teams and the Midlands teams can meet together. It's basically neutral ground. And it's in a place called Villa Park, which is in Aston Villa, Birmingham. So, in my opinion, if a parliament was to happen, it would be that area, because it's in the middle. We can all meet there. It would be cheap as well, because rail fares are expensive. And I don't know, it just feels right. If it was in Manchester, Manchester would become too powerful because we're the biggest northern city and we're a powerhouse. We're probably, even though we're probably not as big as Birmingham, we've got more influence because the BBC's up here and other things as well. And I just feel if he was in the middle, the south and the north can be represented kind of fairly. I don't know. It makes sense in my head, but they won't do it. It's going to be northwest, northeast, like, or Northumberland. They might even, this might not happen, but they might even split regionalism along old county lines. So Lancashire, Northumberland, Mercia, which is the Midlands, West Sussex, like Cornwall even, but they're not interested in that. They're actually more English than they are Cornish. It's weird. Like they tried to introduce the old language back, but it just doesn't work. They're just not interested.
Isn't it working in? It's working in Wales though, from what I've heard overall. Like
because they are different, but the same as English people as well. Weird.
I've heard something to that extent too, but because I remember when I heard something that my computer science friend told me one time long ago, which is that when they basically like puts, I think it was the driver's license test, and they moved it into a digital format, they would have had to like have reprogrammed the entire computer code, or like the program they were using would have to have been entirely reprogrammed to be able to deal with Welsh.
It's interesting because I've noticed in a BBC news story, the kids these days speak English to each other in person, but on Facebook it's Welsh.
Yeah, I've seen that kind of stuff too, which is really fucking interesting. And you know, to me, my family is predominantly Welsh, and I always wanted to learn it. And yeah, I fucking that I'm never gonna like. I will learn Polish and Icelandic much before I ever figure out Welsh. That's
There's
shit.
Argentinians that speak Welsh, and they're still the same people. It's well weird.
That shit though. There's too many goddamn consonants in it. It just I just look at the words. I'm like, oh no.
There's loads of Argentinians that are Welsh and English. Actually, it's well weird. It used to be a de facto colony in many ways.
You know, there's a lot of Brazilians who are Japanese. Isn't that weird?
Actually, it's not. They were invited to come over, and
yeah. Like it's one of those things. Like it has to do with Portugal in that case, but
yeah, it was.
Yeah, like there's always like sometimes where it's like, hey, there's a lot of Japanese people in Brazil. It's like what, you know, things that
so hot. They're like
in terms of also
wifeys.
Yes, but also like when I say there's a lot, it's like well in a lot in terms of the mostly homogenous population.
Well, are they really homogenous? Brazil, I don't know.
No, Brazil actually is fairly multi-culti. It seems like they've got a lot of.
Legit, like they're all interbreeding with each other like rabbits, and it's well.
Well, if you lived in Brazil, you would want to fuck all the women there too. I know I would. So, anyway, I think this has been fun, just shooting the shit. Oh, and yeah, I've got I sent out a thing on Twitter, but yeah, I guess anyone who's listening already knows that they need to subscribe to you. I did see it. That was fine. Everyone needs to subscribe to your new channel, though. I'll be sure to post out a thing on Twitter about that.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a fun time, man.
Up. Yeah, I need to sober up now. I need a wee.
Fuck, I'm gonna. Yeah, all right. have a good time and night, man.
Night. Okay, guys, this is the end. It's oh god, I need to have a rest. I'll see you guys later. Video tomorrow before work.
Bye-bye.
Right. Bye.